What I'll do, Deval, is once the questions start coming in, we will, I will say that okay, this one is for Shana or this one is for Deval. Others I'll pick up myself. We have
Great.
7 attendees. So Shana,
So,
wait, I'll just, we have 13 attendees right now. So we'll just wait for the next 4 to 5 minutes for people to join in.
sure.
Very good evening, guys. Thanks a lot for joining in on a Saturday evening. We will be waiting for a couple of minutes for everyone to join in. And I'll introduce the host of the webinar today. We'll just wait till 7:40. How does that sound? So for the next 5 minutes, can we wait 5 minutes, Shana? Does that work?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Shana, I don't see any new people joining in, so I'll start the webinar.
Sure.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Good evening once again for people who just joined in. I'm Saurabh Jadhav, your host for the evening. I'm also the program manager for the Caltech and Full Stack Academy's Data Analytics Certificate Program. Today, we have with us Shanna McKee, who is the director for the data analytics vertical with Full Stack Academy, which is one of the, I think, one of the pioneers in the bootcamp certificate market in US, and they have uh, now entered international markets with partnership with upGrad. Shana has more than 12 years of work experience as an educator as well as a data analyst. She has a love for analytics, and I think I'll let Shana introduce herself. Along with Shana, just give me a minute. Along with Shana, we also have Deval with us from the upgrad content team. Shana and they have worked very closely in launching this program and making the program suited to the international markets with India at its core. So today's agenda will be to understand what the program is, what Full Stack Academy and Caltech's partnership is, and what the certification program brings to you as a learner. We will also go through the brief overview of the content that will be covered in the program, as well as we will cover what extra services you will be getting from upgrad post completion and during the course itself. So Shanna, to you now.
Hello, everybody, and happy Saturday evening. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for having me. I am going to, and I just want to make sure we're going to just jump in to my piece here. Okay, good. We are First of all, excited to have you all here and register to learn a bit more about the certification program. There's a little behind the scenes and journey behind why we're doing what we are doing. So I'm going to go ahead now and just get my screen here. Okay. Do we see the screen? Let's go ahead and get that back up here.
We saw it and now it's gone back. I think you'll have to reshare it.
Okay.
For a minute.
Perfect. So do we have that open?
Yeah, this is working fine now.
Okay, wonderful. So just as a quick overview, like has already been mentioned before, we're going to go over why data analytics, with Caltech, go over full stack partnership with upGrad, the fun things that we're doing in the world of data analytics, and why we're here. What are we here to learn about? Quick overview of myself. I am Shanna McKee. As mentioned, I am the Director of Academics for Data Analytics at Full Stack Academy. And a little fun fact about myself, I am the author of the Data Analytics curriculum. So as mentioned, my passion for data is very high. I talk all things data. So any questions that we have, feel free to ask them. And let's start to get into the journey. Before we jump into the actual, program structure, it's important to know that Caltech, upGrad, and Full Stack have an academy partnership because data analytics is taking the world by storm. Industry leaders are really recognizing its critical nature and that they need data analysts and the skill sets behind data in order to drive informed decisions and to help their businesses be successful. And with Caltech specifically, a world-renowned science and engineering institute has partnered with upGrad and Full Stack. And we are going to be powering this certificate program in India, which is why you are all here to learn what are we going to do and why. And Full Stack is one of the longest running tech boot camps that they have right now here in the United States. Our program graduates are equipped to succeed professionally through foundational learning, methodology, and it's about the students. We want to help everybody achieve their goals. That is the foundation of our partnerships. That is the foundation of our programs. And during our program for Full Stack, we receive one-on-one counseling sessions with our students, mock interviews, and we get students ready and prepared to go through that career journey and those interviews with our hiring partners. The data analytics certification program at Caltech, as we've mentioned, is powered by Full Stack, and it's a higher education company, and we are dedicated to increase visibility and access continuing education. This type of certification program for data analytics it's very different. It's not your everyday learning. It's continuing education. And throughout the program and the curriculum itself, we provide a learning environment, part live online, asynchronous learning, interactive instruction, additional learning resources. And we have evolved our curriculum to help prepare for data analysis roles, all kinds of the journeys, practice foundational analytical skills, and we help build you for the future that you're looking for when you enroll in the program. Full Stack has a few pillars of the program that we are very excited about. We have changed this vision over the couple of years to form what the students want. We've been listening to you, we've been listening to the industry, and our pillars of the program are inclusion, experience, and outcomes. Why data analytics? We've talked about our partnership, our history, what the certificate program is going to do, but why data? Data is changing the world around us. It is revolutionizing industries. Data analysts learn the ability to take data, put it into a story to provide that impact for the business partners that they're working in, self-business, small businesses, and big data, and large Fortune 500 companies. It is a growing field with countless opportunities, and data is changing lives. If you think on your social media account or your Netflix or your algorithms behind your phone, why are you seeing the ads that you are seeing? Why are you generating these profiles when you're online shopping? It's all about data. And data is connecting people and societies. It's guiding businesses to make informed decisions to be successful, and it's creating a story. And data wants to be heard. And as data analysts, we are going to give data that voice. And we do that through data exploration, effective communication, problem solving, storytelling. And as a data analyst, you will become a subject matter expert in the field. There are many data analytic roles. There are, when you go to your job search and you type in data analyst, it doesn't just stop there, because regardless of what industry you end up working in, data analysts spend a lot of their time finding patterns based off of raw data and collecting that data, putting their findings behind that data, and providing a structure in the decision-making process. And a day in the life of what an analyst might look like is using business intelligence tools, or what we like to call BI tools, sometimes creating them, even setting them up for those businesses, collecting raw data, finding the patterns within that data, creating visualizations of the data. One of the many unique traits of a data analyst is that ability to effectively communicate. You are the professional. You will be given that raw data to sift through and create a compelling visual to help communicate that story and your findings to your coworkers and your business partners. With that comes the development of creating reports based off of those visualizations. How do we communicate our findings? You'll also be training others on how to use these BI tools and the skills and attributes that you're going to obtain in the certificate program. Help develop key performance indicators, collaborate with your teammates, and streamline the data collection process. What does all of that mean? That's a lot of words. Let's break that down into an actual program structure. Full Stack's data curriculum was created with heavy guidance of our industry experts and marketing analytics. What does that mean? That means that the data has told us a story. And based off of that story and our findings, the data analytics program will help you get in-demand tech jobs. According to Burning Glass, one of very high marketing research and industry analytics, data analytics in the US in particular has grown 21.5% in the last year. And it is just going to keep growing from there. In the next 10 years, we're actually expected it to almost double in percentage in the data analytic type of roles. It is a beginner-friendly program. If you are not well-versed in data analytics, if you have not heard of Excel, Python is intimidating. This program is going to fit you very, very well, because it is going to start you as a beginner and have you graduate at the end as an advanced, maybe even expert. You're going to learn our curriculum from not only industry leaders, some live online instruction, but also well-created course curriculum, content development, and additional supplemental resources across all skills. The experience of the data analytics certificate program is going to help you build the foundational skills that you need within the field of data analytics. Now, the skills that you learn are not just going to be siloed to data analytics. You will be building in-demand industry skill sets to prepare you to take certifications outside of what you're going to learn in the program for in-demand business intelligence tools such as Tableau and AWS, also known as Amazon Web Services, which some of you may have heard. Cloud platforms are taking the world by storm, and we have recognized that. We've heard that, and the content, the curriculum has been developed around those foundational findings. The program consists of, as I mentioned, live online classes, workshops, and you will be fully supported through your journey from start to finish of the program. The up-to-date curriculum is very relevant. It's very in the know. We are hearing what our employers are saying when they are posting these jobs. There are skills that they are listing, qualifications that they are listing. And the program has been formed to give you that mastery set skills of knowledge to be able to apply for those jobs. So the certificate program here is this is a visual, right? This is the behind or the in front of, this is a visual that we have created based off of what the data has told us. So we have broken the curriculum down to 3 phases. And phase 1 is that beginner friendly. You're going to learn Excel fundamentals, basic formulas, functions, pivot tables, and yes, advanced chart design. You will get there. Data-driven storytelling, summarizing the data using visuals, and then jumping into learning SQL fundamentals for your first phase. The second phase gets you a little more from that beginner to that intermediate skill set of a data analyst, SQL queries and functions, Python fundamentals, command line syntax. It sounds intimidating, but the building block of these phases are going to get you comfortable and build your knowledge to be able to be successful in all of these phases. You'll also learn some core scripting elements such as variables and flow control structures. And then you'll wrap up the program with phase 3. And what phase 3 is going to do, it is going to pull everything that you have learned and start to teach you how to create those analytical storyboards, those data models. That's where your BI tools are going to come into play, where your creative storytelling is going to come in. You're going to also learn your AWS. Amazon Web Services offers many cloud platform tools, and they do have specific data analytics services, and you will be introduced to those in this program and learn how to collect data, connect databases, create visuals, and then you will wrap everything up with your final capstone project. And that final capstone project is going to showcase your talents and everything that you have learned. You are going to be building your portfolio throughout the life of the program, and you are going to finalize it with that capstone project that you will be able to use to showcase to employers your new skill sets as a data analyst. This is an even more high-level visual of the bootcamp structure from start to finish. You will start with Excel, move your way through presentations, which is your storytelling, creating that visual and effective communication of your data, SQL, Python, data visualization with one of the top in-demand BI tools, Tableau, AWS, and then your final project. The certifications I would like to touch base on, because one thing to mention is that these certifications have been added for additional learning within the program. You'll see that taking these certifications are not required. They are highly recommended because this is going to make your resume in your career journey very desirable. And in the world of data analytics, AWS Data Analytics Specialty Certification and the Tableau Specialist Desktop Certification are going to prepare you to enhance your learning and add those credentials on top of the certificate that you receive at the end of the program. So the curriculum is going to teach you the building blocks and foundational knowledge of AWS and Tableau, but then it's going to take you a little bit of a deeper dive into the certification to make sure that you are successful to receive 2 additional credentials on top of everything that you're going to be learning. We have talked about the program, its structure, why we have partnered, what the collaboration is with our industry leaders and educational partners, but let's talk about the data, the industry insights. Let's talk about what has driven the foundation and creation of the data analytics program. Data analytics career mapping. This is where we started. When we looked at the why behind creating this program, it is because employers are actually posting for these job positions that you are seeing here, everywhere from a junior analyst all the way to the director of data analytics. Within each of these positions are skill sets and traits that employers are identifying and requiring when individuals apply for these jobs. These are the ideal candidates. And when you start looking for your career journey at the end of this program, you could start it as a junior analyst. You can, depending on your skill set, your knowledge, have you taken those certifications? Do you have those additional credentials? How stellar is your final capstone project will then lead you into this career journey to a business data analyst, an information analyst developer, as well as a data modeler architect. That sounds exciting. And I can contest to that. This analytic career map does work. I started as a junior analyst. I won't say how many years ago to give myself away, but I started as a junior analyst. And now here I am, the director of data analytics at Full Stack Academy. So we have listened to the data. We are following this career map. And these are going to be the jobs that you are going to start applying for upon completion of the program. The top analyst areas and focus, again, you'll see some of what we've already talked about: data analysis, accounting, SQL programming, Python, Microsoft Excel, and agile methodology. Just learning the skill sets and the curriculum, Excel, Python, SQL, you're not just learning those tools, you are learning areas of focus as well. And you'll see that based off of reports and market research that we have ran, data analysis is over 70% of what employers are looking for. And then we see SQL, Python, and Excel. The content was created based off of these findings. This is what the employers want, so this is what we are going to give the employers. When you are done with the program, where are graduates going? Where are they getting hired? Well, our team has pulled together and built relationships with companies ranging from small businesses to large startups to agencies that you can see that we are all familiar with: Google, Facebook, Etsy. Imagine being a small business owner on Etsy, and now you have your data analytics certificate, as well as your Tableau certificate and your AWS certificate. The sky is the limit for your business. But if you're not necessarily there and don't want to be a small business owner, that's okay. You could be a social media analyst for Facebook, a data analyst for Google. And this is where our graduates are going and where our graduates are getting hired. And again, these are companies, our universities, our governments, across the country trust Full Stack to train students, to build them to become colleagues and employees of these agencies and top companies. I always like to end with this quote. Dr. Christoph is a physical therapy associate professor at Marquette University in Wisconsin, here in the United States. And I really, really like this quote because it's true to its form. By showcasing data analytics to students at a very young age, it is important because it's a field that, as over 5 years ago, didn't exist. And that is very true. Data analytics fell under the umbrella of data science. Now it has siloed into its own profession. And we have identified the curriculum. We've created the content around that. So think to yourself, you are starting or potentially going to become a desired role that didn't exist 5 years ago. And in 10 years is just going to double in its size. So I wish you all the luck. I'm open to questions and hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to reach out on anything that you have to talk about. And as always, thank you all for your time and having me here today.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Shanna. I think I will be speaking on behalf of everyone. You made all of us excited about data, and it's
Yes.
even for people who are here only for information. And I think it gives the clarity that is needed for not just the program, but also for people who are planning to design their career or start a new career, switching from their current roles in data analysis, so they can see where their career can move to. And I think, just on a last note, right, there is a question from Piyush, which is very, very, I think one of the most common questions that we get. What is the difference between a data analyst, a data engineer, and a data scientist? I
I
think
am so
which
glad that
best
question came up.
person?
I'm so glad that question came up, and I didn't include it on purpose because I wanted to make sure we spent a few moments on that. And yes, that is a great question, because 5 years ago, it was all encompassing. It was the same answer. Now it's different. So let's kind of start at the data science, because I think a lot of us are really well versed in data scientists. We know who they are, but what do they do is the question. Data scientists are very heavy in creating algorithms, that behind the scene programming. So when we mentioned earlier about data analysts connecting to databases and streamlining that data collection, database creation and behind the scenes algorithms rely heavily on our data scientists because they have that scientific language. They are the ones that create our communication systems, I guess is the best way to say that. So if you have a love for Python, you have a love for SQL, and you want to start building databases and algorithms, you could serve a double role as a data analyst and a data scientist and just really wow employers. Data engineers are very, I like to call calculated. They're very technical in the behind the scenes coding and programming. So our data engineers, we talked about AWS earlier for cloud platforms. Cloud platforms rely very heavily on data engineers. I don't know if you know recently, but Amazon actually went down the other day. It blacked out, it wasn't working. I guarantee you their data engineers were working around the clock, because the data engineers are the ones that create those interfaces, that communication across the data platforms. They're very, very heavy in scientific creation, statistical annotation. So that would be more of a data engineer, a day in the life of a data engineer. Data analysts put together the voice of the data. So can data analysts become a data engineer? Yes, absolutely they can, because the skill sets and foundational knowledge that data analysts are going to learn eventually streamline and branch off into a data scientist and a data engineer. One of the biggest deciphers, one of the biggest unique traits of a data analyst, and why we are so sought out right now, is because the ability to effectively communicate the data. We work with large raw data sets, and don't get me wrong, we work in Python, we extract data, we learn that programming, we do the same with SQL, but data analysts give the data the voice. We are able to identify patterns and trends, answer business objectives from our employers, and then we communicate those findings using visuals such as Tableau and Power BI tools to create that data model. We give the why behind the data. Why is this happening? And then we guide decision-making with support from sifting through the data and that data collection process. So in a long-winded answer, that's the difference between the three. Are there individuals that are capable of holding all hats? Yes. There are, I know them well. And it comes to the point where you find your niche. Data analytics is very communication heavy. That's why data analysts are heavily sought out, is because they're able to communicate in a clear ideology for the audience who does not know what the data is saying. So our job as analysts is to make the data look easy.
Thanks a lot, Shana. I think that
Yeah,
clarifies this very well, and I'll be using some pointers from there
great,
while answering as
good.
well. Great. So there are two questions I think which could directly, it will be possible. Okay, there are easy ones and there are difficult ones. Let me just take one which is a little on the different side, where we still don't have an answer, but I'd like to have your view on this.
Yeah.
So it's coming anonymously, but the question is, if they were to do this course in India, or in Middle East or any of these regions, what are the chances of utilizing this certification to apply for a job in US, or the kind of recognition that they'll get there?
Yeah, I just got goosebumps at this question, because the reason why is one of the greatest things that is happening right now is online remote workforce. It is taking employment by storm. Companies are actually shutting down their headquarters because they have learned that they can open their employment base to the world. So that is a great question, whoever answered. And the answer is, if you complete this certification program, all of these insights, the market research is based heavily on what the employers are saying in the US and what they want. If you successfully complete this certification program, which I hope you enroll, I hope you do, you absolutely have just as equal of an opportunity to apply for these jobs that are streamlining with US employers as I do. Because again, one thing you want to make sure of when you do start the job search process is that you build that algorithm, because the data is going to tell your job search what you're looking for. Make sure you identify online, fully remote. And I actually work with colleagues who are out of the country as well. Hone in on those skills, that knowledge, master them, be successful, and start applying for jobs in the US, and you will have just as much of a chance as we do here.
I think that's just the best thing that we want to hear right now.
Yeah.
Yes. So there are two questions.
I
Right.
really recommend that. A lot of people, when they're done with any of these certification programs, is they have that, ideology in mind, or that imposter syndrome. Do it. I haven't been doing it long enough. I'm not good enough. That is not the truth. So if anyone is thinking that you can't, it is the exact opposite. You can. And when you are done with this program, it's not just data analyst jobs that you can look for. And we'll really touch base on the different types of career opportunities in terms of job searching, but social media analyst, marketing analyst, Facebook employment is so diverse across the world. So if you want to become a social media analyst and track what people are doing and pull the data from Facebook, you can apply from those jobs from anywhere in the world. And I highly, I recommend that. I encourage you to do that. I support you to do that.
Amazing. I think you've just answered one more question
Okay.
from Sakshi Khonde. I'll still
Yeah.
read the question so that I have not missed out anything in the answer that you've given. So Sakshi Khonde
Mhm.
writes, "Can you please give some tips for a beginner and how to
Yeah.
start as a beginner in this field?"
Yeah.
She has another thing because she's currently facing a lot of problem because she doesn't have any experience in this field. She has, she wants to enter the field, but she doesn't have any experience. And I think a part of it, which I'm adding here, is she's asking, even after she does the course as a pure fresher, what
Mhm.
are the possibilities?
Yeah.
There's also another question which I'm just given your timing.
Yeah, of
Usually,
course.
you have a limited time here. So which is with Sai Subramanian, who's writing, is it possible to step into the certificate program without prior programming knowledge? I know the answer, but I think these two parts are from a beginner's perspective.
Yeah. So that was a full question. So let me start at the beginning and let me know if I missed anything. And I want to make sure you said it was Sakshi. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Thank you for your question. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Sakshi. Right.
Sakshi, this program was created with you in mind. And by you in mind, I mean beginners in mind. Um, to put things into perspective, when I started, I knew nothing. I knew nothing. I knew a couple of Excel formulas, maybe some formatting in Excel. I didn't know SQL. I did not know Python when I started in my career journey years ago. And the program was created with that ideology. It is a very beginner friendly program. And it starts off with Excel. And the intent behind that is to build your foundational knowledge, because Excel, believe it or not, is a programming language. It's formulas, it's functions, being able to sift through large data, using those formula tools, prepare you for the language of SQL and Python. And once you're in the program, you'll realize there are a lot of common traits across all of them. So one thing I want to encourage you to do is, as a beginner, really entertain this, because this is the kind of program for beginners. It's very beginner friendly. And believe it or not, when you're done and you, let's say you start with Excel, you're going to get overwhelmed. You are going to get challenged. That is going to happen, but that is going to be very natural and very normal. And the support that's going to be offered to you will help guide you through any of those challenges. But if you don't have the experience, then this program is for you. So you can learn that experience. And then at the end of this program, you're going to be borderline advanced expert. So think you're going to start from beginner, knowing nothing, and that's okay. That's why we created the certification program structure. And then when you're done, you'll have a final capstone, AWS under your belt, SQL, Python. And you do not need a programmatic background to start this program. We will teach you how to do all of it.
Perfect. I think this is great. Do you have time for one more, or
Of course I
we
have
can
time for
begin?
one more. Yes,
Perfect.
I'm not going to
Great,
shy
great.
away the voices of questions. Let's hear what we have.
Oh, amazing. So we have one from Piyush. I think you covered a part of it already in the presentation. Piyush is asking how a day of a data analyst looks like on a day-to-day basis. What do they do look like for? This is
Yeah.
it. Like that's all.
Yeah.
So like
Well,
it is
you
a
know
great
what?
question.
It is a great question. And I could go back to the slide, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make this very, very informal. So I'll actually give you a day in the life of me because, I am the director of academics in data analytics. So I think I'm the best one to answer this. On average, what happens on a day today? One thing I do want to mention is that as a data analyst, you are going to be given what are called ad hoc requests. And those mean different types of requests on a daily basis. You can have multiple requests in one day, multiple projects, scheduled biweekly, monthly. But really, what the day in the life of the analyst looks like is when I come into work, I open Excel, Tableau, and SQL. I have my databases open and I start to go through my requests. And by requests, I mean, for example, what is, how many students have, looked at the program? What is the online traffic look like? So then I will go in, I will plug in my SQL query in my database, and then that data, that raw data, will be pulled. And now my eyes as an analyst are trained to look at that raw data. What is it telling me? How can I communicate that to my requester? And then from there, what I do is I use Tableau because it is a great data visualization BI tool. Excel is my favorite. It is the veteran of data. I always go back to it, but I do Tableau. And then what I'll do is I will create a visualization, a graph, a chart, a geographical map, depending on where the traffic is coming from online. And then I will present that visual to my requester and let them know this is how many we had come in yesterday. This is how many we have coming in today. And then I can even forecast or identify a pattern to help communicate them to be ready for that online traffic in the next 48 hours. So to capture that, a day in the life of the analyst is working through raw data, identifying what the data is telling you, using the skills and abilities that you as a data analyst will then be comfortable with. Like I said, Excel is my favorite. Can I perform in SQL and Python? Yes, I can, absolutely. But over the years, I've developed my favorites. And so now that's how I work. You may have your favorite be Python, and you may want to pull those visualizations in Python to communicate your findings. The program's going to teach you how to do that. But all in all, ad hoc requests are very heavy. You are the professional. They want to know what the data is saying. You are going to give the data a voice through data collection, and then you are going to communicate that data using compelling visuals. That's a day in the life of me. I hope that
Thanks a lot.
answered the question.
That answers it perfectly. So I will be taking the other questions later, but just to give you a brief about the audience also that is
Yeah.
here with us, you'll be amazed to know that the split of of people here. There are people with 0 to 2 work. Almost 56% of the people here are 0 to 2 years of work experience. So they are freshers of which just 1 or 2 years work experience. But it also means that there are more than 45% people looking for it as their second stream that they want to do. And there are people with almost 22% of people with more than 7 years of work experience who are attending this
Mhm.
webinar as of now.
Yeah,
So, and there are people coming from marketing and advertisement, analytics, finance,
yeah,
operations, product engineering, and IT. So we
yeah.
have the right mix of learners right now, and
And if I can, if
all
I
of them
may,
are super excited. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm really excited. And if I may, really quickly, we've talked a lot about, beginner level. But I also want, excuse me, I also want to make sure that I touch base on that 22% of individuals who have already been, oh, I love this poll. See, this is data. The visualization of our polls, everything that you're answering are giving us the story. So believe it or not, this is data. And I'm really seeing this. This is great. So one thing I would like to mention to those who are in that 10 plus years of work experience, just because you have, well, first of all, congratulations on 10 plus years work experience. We all know it can get pretty daunting in the working world. But one thing to mention is if you already have work experience, this program will teach you new ways in the working world. So what you already may know, the application and skill sets that you've already developed, this program will help you develop new ideologies and new ways to approach things. And you may not be a beginner in Excel. You may be, oh, I'm okay, I'm comfortable. But the purpose of this program is to focus on data analytic, content structure, and curriculum. So if you're in marketing, you could be a marketing analyst and you could start using the skills that you learn in the program to now analyze, market research, and identifying those trends and patterns in the industry for your company. So it wears many hats. It works very well for those who are beginner, but it also works very well for those who are looking to take a career change. You're at the crossroad and you have a couple of different roads. You're not sure where to go. Take that data analytics road, because it's only going to enhance your ability and your experience for what you have already learned. So I encourage those who have already been in the working world for a while to take this certificate program as well, because now it'll just teach you a new way of learning, a new way of thinking, and you'll be even more desirable with 10 plus years work experience and now an in-demand certification on your resume.
I think that's the energy. I think that's stable. Okay. Shana, can you hear me now? I think my
Yes,
internet is a
yeah, I
little
can hear you
shaky
now.
here.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Shana, there are a couple of more questions. I'll let Deval
Oh,
answer
I'm
them.
so
The
sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
first
You
We are
question,
not
are.
able
Deval,
to
for
hear
you
you.
on asynchronous self-learning model.
Yeah.
Let me just try once. Deval, can you take this question? If you can put it in the Q&A.
Yeah, by Anand. Yeah.
Yes, by
So
Anand. Just take that question. I'll fix my internet by then.
yeah, sure. So firstly, hi everyone. This is Deval here from upGrad's content team, and thank you, Shanna, for such a beautiful presentation and for such beautiful insights on, life of data analyst, how should beginners prepare and all. So I hope everyone is really enjoying the session so far and is glad to get all the insights from Shanna. So
And
I'll just take.
I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I do have to go. I just want to thank all of you for your time. The upgrad team, you're stellar. You guys are such a pleasure. So I know that everybody is in good hands to ask future questions. I wish you all the best of luck one thing I just want to say to you is don't be discouraged. Take that jump. It's not worth it if you don't work for it. That's always my motto. If this is
Right.
something you want to do it. I really hope that I can talk with you all later and maybe see you in the upcoming months. But I hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday and a great weekend.
Sure. Thank
Thanks
you,
a lot,
Shanna.
Shana.
And we
Thank you,
hope
Shana.
that you too have
Have
a
a great
very
weekend.
great week.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Right. Great. So they
So,
will we'll pick up this question, right? So the question
yeah.
is you're picking it up. Thank you.
Right. So Anand asked this question that, what percentage of course will be online and the asynchronous self-learning modules. So firstly, I'd like to answer that, this is a blended program where part of it is as form of a recorded video, and part of it is in the form of live sessions. Live sessions are basically complementary to what has been taught in the recorded sessions, right? And it's actually a balance of 50-50 where it's very important that you study the recorded lectures properly, and then you take the best out of the live sessions. So when I say live sessions, you will have practice sessions, especially since you're learning programming languages like SQL, Python. You are also learning Tableau, AWS, right? So you will have practice sessions, proper practice sessions. You will have uh, sessions where you're just recollecting the fundamentals of what is being taught in the main recorded content, and then you'll be solving some interesting problems by industry relevant experts, right? By people who are actually working in the industry at top notch organizations. So you'll get to solve some case studies. You will also have one-on-one mentorship with, like, how should you just go about in case if you're envisioning to get into an analytical role, right? So these are the kind of live sessions that we've planned. And I think Anand asks another question that about the schedule, like how are the live classes scheduled in a week? So mostly the live classes are scheduled on the weekends, so that we make sure that each and every learner can attend, because obviously a lot of you are working professionals. So the live classes are scheduled on weekend. There'll be a specific time slot. I cannot comment much about that because that is something decided when the batch starts. So like depending on the batch strength, we might split it up into two groups or so, but we have like proper dedicated live sessions throughout weekends. So I hope, Anand, we answered that question for you.
Yeah, I think this got answered well. And in terms of the timings of the program, there will be two timings for Indian and international students. There will be a morning slot anywhere between 9 to 11 a.m. and there will be an evening slot 9 to 11 p.m. So at the time of enrollment, you guys can suggest what is more preferable for you, and what you can do is these classes are gonna happen only on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. So at time of enrollment, just tell your counselor that you are opting for an evening or a morning schedule. Uh, about the schedule, this is done. Great. In terms of pure percentage, it's a little difficult to give an exact percentage here because the program is designed between content which will be both recorded as well, which will be taught in live lectures, along with a lot of live lectures with live training as well as problem solving. So if you count the problem solving and everything else, it's lopsided towards the live session bit. A majority there will be anywhere between 60 to 80 hours of live interaction, either in a training session or a live demonstration, or somewhere where you're doubt clearing or you're being taught. So this whole program is heavily dependent on getting you to practice what is being taught, both in the
Right.
asynchronous content as well as in synchronous content. There's another question on the course fees and the duration. The course fee, okay, so just to give you a background of the course fee, this particular program is currently being sold in US by Full Stack Academy at $13,999. In India, in APAC, and in EMEA regions, with upGrad's partnership, the program is being offered in 4,000 US dollars. For Indian conversion, it will be approximately rupees 3 lakhs. Okay. The duration of the program is 6 to 7 months. Why I'm saying 6 to 7 months is in case there are any breaks or some live lectures uh, are rescheduled. So the program is 6 months planned, but it might complete in 6.5 to 7 months if there are some rescheduling that is happening, because it's heavily dependent on live lectures. We will not be missing out on content in case of any rescheduling. Okay. uh, we have answered everything else. Caltech certificate, are we aiming for further editions as master, and does it help with H1B? uh, are we planning for a further edition as a master's? As of now, no. Does it help with H1B? I think H1B is, this question is something I can't answer, neither Deval can take up. But definitely it will help in getting securing an offer letter, and which might help you in getting a visa. But directly, no. If you have to take an answer for that, the program fees in INR is rupees 3 lakh rupee. Can you tell us how much of life specifically by Caltech faculty? Specifically by Caltech faculty, I think Deval, you can take this
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
So throughout the program, we'll have roughly 5 to 6 dedicated lectures from Caltech faculty. So whenever you're learning about Excel, SQL, Python, Tableau, AWS, Caltech faculty will sort of have a master class for the entire batch, and that will be really, really insightful, because obviously you're getting to learn from a very top-notch professor, right? And you will have an immense full learning experience from those sessions that will also be fruitful, and I think that will also add value to whatever recorded as well as live classroom sessions we have, live sessions content we have. So that is something I don't think it requires more introduction. Caltech faculty is going to take that. Yes.
About the recording of, thanks a lot, Deval. Thanks a lot. I think you guys should really look forward to these master classes, because they will not only cover the content, and they will also tell you what the cutting edge of data analytics is right now, what Caltech is working on, and they will share the insights on the business applications or the industry applications of the same. So you should all look forward to them. uh, there's another question on, can you share the recording of the webinar? Please reach out to your counselors, and they will be able to help you. I think in the next 24 hours we will have the recording available. The cost of the program is covered. If Is there a job assistance guarantee provided after training? There is a 360-degree job assistance by upgrad. In 360-degree job career support, upgrad will provide you one-on-one mentorship. It will help you with your resume preparation, your job preparation, and we will uh, allow you access to our portal, which is a premium, limited, exclusive portal where all our industry partners come and uh, post their vacancies, and we will help you in getting those. About the guarantee, there is no guarantee as of now. Job assistance will be there. I'm asking because in other programs on Upgrade, most sessions are by Upgrade or consulted, but not by college faculty. Chitranshi, a fair point, and that's what Deval has already answered. That there will be Caltech faculty, there will be full stack faculty, there will be some sessions will be by Upgrade SME as well, and uh, I promise you that there will be no difference in the quality of teaching or the kind of background these SMEs will come from. So in case you have any such doubts, Chitranshi, please reach out to your counselor. Or if you have any further doubts and you'd like to connect with someone, reach out to me at saurabh.jadhav@upgrad.com. I'm just sending out my email here in the chat box. So just reach out to me directly if you are having any further doubts on who will be taking the live classes, what are the credentials, how many by full stack, how many by Caltech. I'll clear those answers. So this is the last, I think last 2 minutes. So thanks a lot, guys. I've gotten your feedback as well. Thanks a lot for sharing your feedback. Thanks a lot for filling out the poll survey. I'm looking forward to host many such webinars and looking good participation from you again. Thanks a lot, Deval, for joining on such a short notice. I understand.
Thank you
It
so
was,
much.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.